64 years after independence, Nigeria, Africa's most populous nation, continues to grapple with the high rates of poverty and underdevelopment. Many say this is the result of years of bad governance. Decades of decisions made without foresight or empathy have left the country grappling with the heavy aftershocks following major economic reforms over the last 1 year. In May 2023, the newly inaugurated President Bola Ahmed Tinubu announced the removal of the long-standing fuel subsidy.
Fishing in the air for subsidy. Is gone.
Citing its omission from the budget he inherited, the consequences were immediate and harsh. With fuel prices skyrocketing and black markets thriving, the cost of living surged, pushing millions of Nigerians deeper into economic despair. Another fiscal policy introduced by the administration with the aim of stabilizing the economy led to unprecedented inflation. The flotation of the naira by the Central Bank of Nigeria has since sent the exchange rate soaring to over 1,600 naira to a dollar. In a country heavily dependent on imports, the effects have been devastating as basic necessities spiral out of reach for the average Nigerian.
We are suffering seriously because of the condition and how Nigeria is now.
Insecurity in the north, caused by decades of neglect, illegal mining, and the proliferation of weapons, has worsened the farmer-pastoralist conflict, sectarian violence, as well as ethnic and religious clashes. This has led to displacements and empty farmlands. The result? Severe food shortages and skyrocketing prices that pushed food security to the brink.
Where we are today was not caused by 1 year's administration. It is the outcome of years of insecurity. Many people could not go to farms for almost 10 years.
As if the situation wasn't dire enough, a daily life for Nigerians became an uphill battle as power tariffs soared. Households already struggling under the burden of rising costs of food and commodities found themselves paying more for less reliable electricity. The discontent reached a boiling point in the first quarter of 2024. Citizens were angered by the government extravagant spending $100 million on a new presidential jet and an additional $50 million for its customization, 21 billion naira for a vice presidential residence. All at a time when the minimum wage in the country was just 30,000 naira. Nigerians were running out of patience. In a bid to placate the angry populace, the president ordered the release of 20 trucks of rice. This move was intended to ease the burden of food inflation, with the hope that the cost of staple foods like rice, which now sold for as high as 80,000 naira per bag, will decrease. The president also finally approved the new minimum wage of 70,000 naira a month for workers. But these efforts did little to quell the growing frustration. Nigerians had decided that they will take to the streets in protest of bad governance and hunger. By the start of the protest, those who converged in Abuja and other regions of the country were met with tear gas from the police, yet the protesters remained undeterred. Responding to the mounting pressure, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu finally addressed the nation.
My dear Nigerians, especially our youths, I have heard you loud and clear.
However, his speech fell flat, failing to address the core demands of the protesters. The frustration and anger persisted, and in some parts of the country, the situation took a darker turn. Up to 17 citizens were reportedly killed during the protest, and many accused security operatives of being behind the killings. States like Kaduna, Katsina, and Kano imposed curfews to curb the destructions that unfolded. Protesters defied the curfew, and some were seen waving Russian flags, while others were heard calling for a military takeover, a sign that the government's control was slipping. and fastly so. Alarmed, the government convened emergency security meetings. Though the protest lost steam over days, many were determined to see it through till the end. As the dust settles, the government has taken steps to engage with more citizens. Summits and meetings with key groups have been held, and recently, President Tinubu inaugurated 30 hybrid-powered compressed natural gas buses donated by the Depots and Petroleum Products Marketers Association of Nigeria, DAPMAN. This is the story of a nation at a crossroads, where the demand for change echoes louder than ever before.